Hello, Gemini, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of April 26th through May 2nd. And during that time, in fact, the entire week, we have the waxing gibbous moon. And that is a time for us to really just be buckled down, working on those projects that we've started for this cycle, but also show that we can demonstrate a little bit of flexibility, make adjustments where they are required, and just continue to buckle down and get things accomplished. So keep those moon energies in mind. We also have the full moon. Oh, I almost forgot. The full moon comes up on May 2nd. And of course, that could be a time of heightened emotions. Some people, I feel like there's two sides to the full moon. Some people are overwhelmed and anxious and irritable. Some people, though, are very positive, energetically flowing and ready to go. I mean, that's me. I love the full moon energy. It's my favorite. I wish it lasted all month. Actually, I would need a break from it, but just I feel good. I get a lot of things done. It's the best time of the month for me. So, kind of depending on where you are. And also, I will say that through my ages, I have found there are different times when I have that kind of energy. In my younger days, it was that new moon energy was just like that with the full moon energy. So, I don't know if there's something to that or not. If you have a commentary on it, please leave a comment and let me know. Anyway, full moon energy that comes in. The full moon is May 2nd, but that energy could start the 1st and even go for a few days. So keep that in mind as you're moving through your week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Gemini. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is don't let pride get in your way. All right, let's see what the Gemini Collective has going on for the week. As I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder this week, Gemini, is that you take a little bit of time to really do a deep dive on something that you've been curious about and learn something new. So I don't mean just taking 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, pick something that has been on your mind and you thought, I want to learn about this thing. It could be anything. It could be something new. It could be something going on in the world today. It could be something historical. It could be how to fix a thing, how to improve a thing. So just find something, but give yourself a couple of hours and, either find a book on the topic, you take some notes, maybe a lecture, whatever it is to really just absorb yourself in whatever topic that it is, and to just let the world melt around you and really just learn a thing. So sometimes as adults we forget to do that. So that's my fun weekly reminder for you, Gemini, is to learn something new. Okay, and on that note, I will stop babbling. Let's get into this reading. April 26th through May 2nd. Don't let pride get in your way. Your present energy right now, 10 of Swords. So something for you is coming to some sort of end. You could just be wrapping up some kind of cycle. This could be just a mental end, something you're done thinking about. You've thought about it long enough. You've made a decision, or you've, kind of tackled something, and you're moving on. So anytime we have a 10 and it's an ending and a big definite ending, I also see that as kind of a space maker. It's like you open up space for something else. So, be looking for maybe that new thing that's on the horizon for you, something coming around. But yeah, there's just something that you're coming to the end of and you're done. You just can't explore it, can't think about it another minute, or you've wrapped it up, right? Your current situation right now is the Queen of Pentacles. So this could be, something having to do with the understanding of the material world, or how some things work, and you're just kind of, letting this could be that you did your taxes and you're done dealing with it, right? It could be something as simple as that. It could be something that you're learning right now, that you're kind of coming to some sort of understanding about when it comes to the material world. Like I said, if you're learning something new, maybe it's about how to fix an item or to make something better, some home improvement thing or something that you're doing, something that's tangible and real. At the root of your situation is the Death card. So again, with the ending, you've got some sort of ending. Something is over for you that you're just not thinking about. I mean, this could be that maybe you've had some financial struggles and you're not struggling anymore. And that's kind of an old way of thinking for you. And now you're just thinking positive and you're thinking about, you're being very thankful, very grateful. And when you do that, when you get into that mindset, what happens? Just things start rolling in, things work out for you. So, if that's happening for you on the financial or the material front, awesome, good job, and keep it going, Gemini. In your recent past is the Chariot card. So it looks like you might have been thinking of making some sort of move in the past. And maybe that's the move that you did. Again, it could be something, some financial move that you've made, some move that you've made that might be could have been about an investment or something, or an opportunity that's coming up, and you've made the decision to go forward with it. Again, we're somehow dealing with the material world, with money, with things, things that you can touch and feel. So, think about the movement that's going on in your life in that area and think about how this might apply to you. What is on your mind this week is the Five of Cups. So, some sort of grief and sadness and loss about maybe letting this thing go. Whatever it could be. And maybe you had to let some money go. And that can be sad for you. But, listen, it's like a river flowing, right? In fact, what is really funny when I just said that and looked down, if you look in each of these cards, you can see the water flowing in the background, right? Look at even in the death card here and the chariot, and you have to think about money and material things. And there is a little water even in this card, you know, and money is like that. In fact, there's some really good lectures out there about how all the watery terms that we use for banking, that banks, so the river banks, right? Okay, that there's a flow to money and how it comes and goes, and sometimes the river banks widen, sometimes the banks open and sometimes they close, and it's a little bit a narrow passage. But there's all of these aquatic terms. There's another word that I can't, nautical maybe, terms, that when it comes to money, and you have to kind of think about it, that it's a flow. Sometimes it's coming in flowing well, sometimes you have to send some out to, you know your taxes or whatever it might be. But it's okay, things come around, and if you have to let some go, and if it was a big amount, just let it go, be sad about it, and then pack your bank account back up again. Right? What is just ahead of you is the Ace of Cups. So even in all of this, or whatever it is that you're sad about, I feel like, again, there's something new on the horizon. Anytime you have these endings with these tens or the death card, it just open up space for the next thing that's coming along for you. So, and I feel like whatever that is, you're gonna love. So get over the feelings. Again, don't let pride get in your way. Get over those feelings of whatever it is, because the next thing on the horizon for you, you're going to be like, oh, I love this part of my life, right? In your advice position, wow, 10 of Pentacles. So maybe if this was about investment or was about money, the advice is to really keep your eye on the long term, the long-term goal, which is, 10 of Pentacles is definitely that. It is about long-term wealth and security over generations. So you're thinking bigger than just yourself. You're thinking bigger than your bills this month. You're thinking, how can I plan for the future so that those beyond me and beyond them, have a good base to build upon. So it's generational. And not just in the material realm. I like to point this out. I know this is a card of Pentacles, but when we're passing things on, we're not only passing on material things and stuff, right? We're also passing on ways of being, ways of living, ideas that we have on the universe, our morals, our attitudes. So think about those things too. You are passing those things along as well. What is beyond your control this week is the King of Cups. So while all this is going on, you're, if not completely in control of your emotions, you're at least understanding your emotions. You're understanding why, this grief card here. I always like to point out that, yeah, there's some sadness going on here, but there's also support at your back, right? It's these cups, and you kind of have to turn around and focus on those cups that are still full behind you. And it looks like you do eventually. But yeah, King of Cups, his cups are full, and he understands the emotion behind things, the emotions that's tied into things, not only for himself, but also for everyone around him. He understands why this person does this way, what their emotional motivator is for how they're acting, or what they do. So, and that's beyond your control to really just sit in that energy a little bit this week. What is your secret desire? What are you trying to avoid? Seven of Swords. So, are you trying to avoid some sort of theft or hidden agenda? Perhaps. I doubt if it's your secret desire. Maybe it's your secret desire to be crafty. That could be. when you're dealing with something, to be very cunning and crafty when it comes to maybe a material thing or an investment thing, or you think, but make sure everything's on the up and up everywhere you turn, right? Make sure that your money's going where you think it is and it's doing what you think it's doing, right? And that's just a part of life, what we all have to deal with there. And the outcomes here are, you're going to have lots of choices here with the Seven of Cups. So lots of choices in the end, or maybe you feel like you're constricted to one particular choice. But again, when you have these tens and this death card, um again, any endings, things that are closing down, it just makes real estate for the next thing that comes along, which it looks like you're going to love. You're going to be very careful with, and it is something that's good for you long term. It's good for your emotional stability, and there's choices involved. So there's you get to decide how it is that you do want to move forward. So whatever this is, don't let pride get in your way. It might be that might be an issue here with this situation, but it looks like it does get better for you as the week goes on. What is hidden from you this week is the Magician. So instead of asking yourself, what is it, what do you want to manifest and what tools do you want to use to manifest things, that's kind of hidden from you this week. And maybe it is because you're just wrapping up and you're trying to make sure that you get things handled. But, what is this new thing that you love? And what do you want to make of it? What do you want to make of this ending? What is the next thing? If you have more space in your life for something, what is it? And maybe you'll be asking yourself this with this Magician next week, is what is it, what do I want to manifest next in my life? Always something to be thinking about. All right, let's see a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Gemini as they go through this, some sort of ending. I feel like it's not huge, it's not dramatic or anything. It's just something that you're just gonna, you're like, almost like I feel you're moving into the next phase of something. All right. And the Soul Oracle deck says for you is to correct your mistakes. So, and this could be something, if there was something that you've done financially the first time around, and you're like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to be a little bit more cunning. I'm going to pay attention a little bit more. Don't make the same mistake twice, right? It's kind of what that feels like to me. Let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care. Self-care for Gemini this week. And the card for you is the card that says surrender, with some very pretty art of the angelic figure there. Stop trying to control life. It gets in the way of divine intervention. Yeah, there's only so much that you can control. Sometimes things are just happening and we're not even really sure why. And this could be these endings. This could have something to do with these choices. What are the choices that come up for you? Maybe also being crafty. I'm going to say that we do have two sevens here. So you might want to look up angel number 77. Also, angel number 1010, because we had two tens in the reading today. So, Gemini, good luck with all of this. I know it seems very general. It doesn't seem like this is a big dramatic week with a lot of things going on. It does, again, feel like this ending that's happening for you is kind of like kind of the natural way of things, like something's just ending and you're going to make a choice and move on and do something new. I don't feel like it's anything really huge. I feel like it's just kind of maybe for some of you, just a natural progression of the way life goes. So with all of that being said, I do wish you the best of luck and hope you can get something out of this reading in a positive way for your own life this week. If you are comfortable sharing, if something resonated, or if you feel like I missed something, of course, drop me a comment down below. Or if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those, or just commentary on it. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe really helps my channel, and I appreciate that so much. So thank you in advance, Gemini, for doing that for me. And I wish you the best of luck with all of this. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.